Good evening, you're now with me, Radzi Ahmad, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. Sarawak state-owned AIRBORNEO is set to expand its role in the region with a dedicated ATR aircraft for cargo flights to Singapore. Kumana Pacific Hospital in Bintulu is back in operation, a testament to Sarawak's commitment to healthcare. And in world news, South Korea fires warning shots at North Korean soldiers who briefly crossed the heavily fortified border. Sarawak state-owned airline AIRBORNEO will expand its role in the region with a dedicated ATR aircraft for cargo flights to Singapore. Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg says the city-state was chosen because it's a gateway to global markets. Speaking at the Sarawak Agrofest in Bintulu, Abang Johari says the ADR aircraft will cut delivery times, moving rice, vegetables and tilapia to Singapore in just an hour and 20 minutes.
Tasik dam kita di batang air, kita dah ngeluar manok untuk hasil. Kita nak ngeluar banyak lagi bahan kita ekspor. Sebabnya AIRBORNEO kita dah bincang untuk mempunyai sebuah kapal terbang kargo khas punya AIRBORNEO untuk membawakan semua pengeluaran kita ke pasaran luar, khususnya Singapura.
The move will also open up bigger export markets, creating more economic opportunities for the people.
Sebuah kapal terbang ATR kita convert into cargo. Warnanya tiap pagi yang hantarkan hasil kita ke Singapura.
Abang Johari also says that Tanjung Manis has been tapped as a key production hub, with pineapples set for direct export to Singapore. Meanwhile, the Sarawak government plans to introduce a new law by year's end to regulate palm oil waste on native customary rights land. Premier Abang Johari says the goal is to manage byproducts like palm kernels more systematically and turn them into a new source of economic growth. The plan will be announced once the Attorney General finalizes the legal framework. Under the new rules, palm oil waste must be collected and processed into fertilizer, animal feed, and biogas.
Yang mesti ada ekonomi sosial juga supaya dapat kita membangunkan sisa-sisa kelapa sawit menjadi bahan-bahan untuk kita membangunkan baja, animal feed, termasuklah biogas. Mesti ada. Jadi insyaAllah hujung tahun ini pihak AG sedang merangka undang-undang.
Abang Johari says the move will boost food security, support modern livestock farming, and open new income streams for rural communities through a circular economy. In other news, Kumana Pacific Hospital in Bintulu is back in operation, revamped with a 100 million ringgit makeover under Sarawak's BMC Group. Premier Abang Johari says the investment will raise the quality of private healthcare services, especially in northern Sarawak.
And I think in cancer, terminology, oncology, and cancer treatment, you have to depend on new technology. And these are things that we have to consider. We have to put in place for us to give the best treatment to our people, particularly those who are affected by cancer.
Also, he says the state is investing 300 million ringgit in a new tropical disease research center in Samarahan, set to be completed by 2028.
We are now spending 300 million. Our research center in Kuching for tropical disease. The building, the land is under construction now, and we are interfacing with the overseas land business center, including Singapore, as well as London and Australia.
Once known as Columbia Asia Hospital, the new facility now boasts 14 specialists from orthopedics and general surgery to obstetrics and gynecology, radiology, and clinical psychology, supported by 137 healthcare staff.
We are giving emphasis on STEM subject in order to get the right people who are eligible to do medicine, right up to postgrad, in order to provide good services, medical services to our people. We sign a free donation.
Back on TVS Nightline, the Sumbangan Asas Rahma or SARA Aid program limits purchases to 14 categories of goods set by the Finance Ministry. Deputy Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living, Fuzia Saleh, says they include food, drinks, hygiene products, listed medicines and baby items like diapers.
Masuk dalam tu dia ada 14 kategori dan selalunya supermarket meletakkan label yang jelas. Ini termasuk dalam kategori SARA. Contohnya SARA tu dia ada mi segera dan selalunya supermarket tu mereka akan senaraikan semua brand mi segera yang termasuk dalam senarai SARA dekat MOF. Dia senarai SARA dekat MOF. Katakanlah mereka ada Kintan, mereka ada Indomie, mereka ada apa brand lain, ya, dan semuanya asalkan ada dalam kategori dekat MOF, mereka akan masukkan dalam senarai SARA. Dia macam tu dia punya prosedur.
Fuzia says supermarkets must provide special checkout terminals for SARA items and clearly label all approved products. She adds that the items are priced below market rate and are continuously monitored to prevent misuse. A cabinet memorandum on the ban on e-cigarettes and vapes is expected to be tabled in the cabinet by year's end. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad says a preliminary proposal report by an expert committee has already been tabled at yesterday's cabinet meeting. He says that Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim had asked him to submit a cabinet memorandum on banning vaping. When winding up the debate on the 13th Malaysia Plan motion for the Health Ministry in Parliament, Zulkifli said his ministry's expert committee is finalizing a detailed report on the proposed vape ban. Meanwhile, Zulkifli also said Selangor will soon have 4 wellness hubs, with a new centre now being built in Kuala Selangor. Nationwide, the government is aiming for 81 wellness hubs by 2033. South Korea fired warning shots at North Korean soldiers who briefly crossed the heavily fortified border earlier this week. Seoul's Joint Chiefs of Staff said the incursion prompted the South Korean military to fire warning shots, adding that the North Korean soldiers then moved north of the de facto border. North Korean capital Pyongyang's state media said the incident occurred as North Korean soldiers worked to permanently seal the frontier dividing the peninsula. Calling the event a premeditated and deliberate provocation, Seoul's military used machine gun to fire more than 10 warning shots towards the North's troops. The last border confrontation between the arch rivals was in early April, when South Korea's military fired warning shots after around 10 North Korean soldiers briefly crossed the frontier. North Korea's military announced last October it was moving to totally shut off the southern border, saying it had sent a message to U.S. forces to prevent any misjudgment and accidental conflict. Shortly after, it blew up sections of the unused but deeply symbolic roads and railroad tracks that connect the north to the south. North Korean Army Lieutenant General Ko Jong-chol warned that his country's army would retaliate against any interference with its efforts to permanently seal the border. Dutch Foreign Minister Caspar Veldkamp resigned yesterday after a cabinet meeting failed to agree to sanctions against Israel. The center-right New Social Contract Party, of which Veldkamp is a member, withdrew from the governing coalition after the resignation, adding to growing political chaos in the country.
De minister van Buitenlandse Zaken heeft aangekondigd de koning te verzoeken hem met onmiddellijke ingang ontslag te verlenen. Daarna hebben ook de overige NSC-bewindspersonen in de ministerraad gemeld hun ontslag per direct te verzoeken. We hebben deze besluiten te respecteren, maar betreuren ze zeer. Zeker in het licht van de verantwoordelijkheid die het kabinet heeft in deze demissionaire fase.
On Thursday, Dutch Foreign Minister Veldkamp called for tougher measures against Israel over its military campaign in Gaza. The Netherlands had already barred two far-right Israeli ministers, Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, and joined 21 countries in condemning a new West Bank settlement plan. But by Friday, with his cabinet deadlocked, Veldkamp said he was unable to push through any further action.
Het kabinet heeft zich vandaag intensief gebogen over de actuele ontwikkelingen in Gaza. En laat ik vooropstellen dat de alsmaar verslechterende situatie in Gaza dramatisch is. Daar is iedereen van doordrongen. We zien allemaal het enorme leed en willen allemaal liever gisteren dan vandaag dat de humanitaire situatie verbetert. Die constatering heeft vandaag echter niet geleid tot een gezamenlijke conclusie tussen de drie partijen.
The government has been under pressure from protests against Israel's military campaign. Demonstrations in The Hague drew between 100,000 and 150,000 people, the largest in the Netherlands in 2 decades. Protesters demanded sanctions on Israel and humanitarian access for civilians in Gaza, where the United Nations officially declared a famine due to systematic obstruction of aid by Israel. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime and where, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Razi Ahmad. Thank you for watching and have a good night.